Hey y'all, welcome back to Healthy Design. I thought today I'd do more of the fat loss update and kind of talk about should you train, should you continue to follow your diet when you're on vacation. We just got back, I don't know, a few days ago. Took a trip down to the beach with the family. So we had a great time, so that was good. Definitely think that family time, that connection is important. Can be a little tricky sometimes with teenagers, but hopefully they had a good time as well, and we weren't too terrible to them. Being the boring old parents. But as far as the fat loss itself goes, um, I definitely did not want to kind of be. I don't know. I didn't want to focus too much on fat loss and things while I was down there. So, like I didn't go crazy and take the scale with us or anything like that. So I couldn't track body weight while I was down there. And also, since it was a family vacation and one had that family time, I wasn't really watching what I ate that much. I was, not, I didn't go too crazy by any means, but there's a donut shop down there that we like to go to and only go to when we're at the beach. So I went there twice during the week and ate, had ice cream one other time too. And then, we went out to dinner a good bit just to enjoy seafood and different things. So I enjoyed things. I didn't go crazy and just totally stuff myself, but my body weight did go up some. Um, so unfortunately, since I wasn't able to kind of take those daily body weights for the rest of that week and then the following week, I don't know because we kind of went kind of midweek to midweek. It messed up like one of the weeks to get an average, so I don't really know what that week's average would have been. Definitely don't know what the average was while we were gone, and then we got back. There's a couple days left in that week, but again, I don't know how to average that out and look and see. But based on the last week where I do have that average, I was right just above 193 that week. We'll see how this week plays out, but as things stand right now, my 2 days that I've measured, my body weight total is down like 3 pounds compared to those 2 days. So I don't mean like I went from 193 to 190. Those days, the first 2 days are higher because that's after the carbohydrates and things. And so my body weight's higher now than what it will be at the end of this week. But if it follows that same pattern, I should end up being less than what I was the last full week I measured. So I didn't really lose much of anything. Um, got a diet break in there. So, I was definitely by the time we got back, I was ready to get back on the diet instead of eating like that. We don't eat out that often normally. So we always kind of get our fill of eating out for a while and then want to, get back to our usual of eating at home. Um, so that's kind of where I stand right now. I'll post a picture, add that to this as well, where you guys can kind of see. I do like to work out normally when I'm on vacation. Part of that's just because I like to work out, so it's more mental. I don't, again, I said you will kind of talk about should you do it or should you not. I think that depends on a lot of different factors. So context and nuance come into play there. For me, I wake up much earlier than the rest of my family. And so if I don't have something to do, that means I'm probably going to be waiting 4 or 5 hours for anyone else to wake up and be able to go do something. So that's where like the early morning walks come into play. I do that when I'm on vacation too. I like it when we're down at the beach because I can go walk on the beach and catch the sunrise. And so I can probably add some of those videos and pictures to this too, so you can see it. I get to see all kinds of neat things when I go on my walk, so that's part of the reason why I do it. I enjoy that part of it. I do feel like I get health benefits from it. I know years ago when I first started doing this, it helped to lower my heart rate. I don't remember exactly where I was, 70s or 80s for sure. Now my resting heart rate's 50s and 60s, and I contribute the easy walks daily as being the biggest factor in that. Um, so, like I said, when I'm on vacation, being able to go for that walk helps out and taking time. And then there is just a little workout space at the part of the beach where we go to. Um, Now, it is not a fancy gym by any means. It does not have everything that I would love to have. Uh, they basically had like a functional trainer. So, two weight stacks. Looks to be like a pretty old piece of equipment. And unfortunately, one of the sides, the cable had broken. So there was only one cable, one weight stack to use. There's one, adjustable bench, and then there's dumbbells up to 45 pounds. So um, definitely have to be creative. But I was able to get workouts in for upper body, lower body. Got creative on the lower body. So using like the heaviest dumbbells and doing like a Bulgarian split squat, um, and different things like that, like a one-legged, stiff-legged deadlift. I'm using those dumbbells. Helped out. I was able to get a great workout in. Since those are kind of new movements, I haven't done those in a while. My legs were sore, and they were sore for a while. So it is nice to be back home, have all the equipment that I want, and be able to get back on track and do the things that I want to do. Um, and then, so like some of the pressing, I was able to use the weight stack for that and just kind of get in position. But, if you're creative, think about things a little bit. You can still get a great workout in, even if there's not a lot of equipment. That's probably not going to be the best thing in the world, long term if things don't, if you're not able to progress past that point. But for a week, couple weeks, you can still get a great workout in and still get everything you need. So again, for me, I like doing that when I'm on vacation because I can go for my walk and then I can go work out. And so now I've used up some of that time before my family members are getting up. Um, I wouldn't want to go work out later in the day when everybody's up. So if that was my only option, like say I had to go to a gym, but they didn't open till 9 or 10 o'clock for some reason, and so I'd have to go later in the day when people are up, and then I would just take that week off and I wouldn't go because that vacation's meant to be more family time than it is for workout time. So again, I enjoy doing that because I enjoy the exercise part. If I don't, I start to get a little antsy. And so it probably helps out and getting some of that energy out. And so then I am more tolerable to my family. Again, didn't say that I was wonderful, but at least I'm more tolerable there. It's easier for them to put up with me. So that's why I like to do it. There's plenty of reasons why you don't want to. Again, I said if it would take away time from them, I wouldn't do it. If it just happened to be at a time where my body was tired and needed a break from working out, then I would deload or either do easy workouts there or just take the week off. Um, a lot of times in my case, and for a lot of people too, it seems like those deloads kind of occur naturally in the sense that life gets in the way and just can't get to things. Something happens, and so it's just easier not to work out during those time frames, and that seems to happen a few times during the year. So if that happens, I just let that be what it is, and then get back on track when things get back to normal. So again, I don't think there's a set answer like, oh, you have to work out when you're on vacation, or you never should work out when you're on vacation. With the diet too, I think that depends. For me, there's not an I don't have this set endpoint like, oh, I have to be this lean by this time for this reason. There isn't that. So I've got time. So did eating kind of however I wanted to on vacation, did that kind of hamper fat loss results? Yes, I gained some weight and it kind of slowed things down. I think I did eat a little bit over maintenance as well. So like I said, I gained some body weight back. Um, I don't think it really made too much of a difference, like visually or anything along those lines. But yeah, if I had a deadline I had to meet, then this would have put me behind. Luckily, I don't have that deadline, so I have that flexibility. And then I think there's some of the psychological benefits from taking that break from the diet where, I don't have to be as restrictive. I just didn't have to think about it for a while and just got to enjoy things. Now, I do enjoy things too on the diet, but obviously not to the same extent. I'm not going to a donut shop a couple times a week or anything like that. Also not going to an ice cream. That again, for the ice cream, that tends to be the only place I go and get ice cream. I'm not the biggest ice cream lover, but they do have some flavor, and I cannot remember the name of it there that I like, and so we'll go once or twice. This time just once. But so again, I think that depends. You know, if you do have this deadline, then you may not be able to do that. You may have to follow your diet even though you're on vacation. What I'd recommend is probably don't plan a vacation when you're on a diet, because you're not going to be as much fun for everybody else and you're not going to enjoy the vacation quite as much. But, you know, if you can't do that and you have to do it, then yeah, follow the diet so you can meet your deadline. Otherwise, if you don't have this deadline that you have to meet, I do think there's probably going to be more benefit from a health standpoint, just to enjoy things. I think not having the stress of worrying about, are you following your diet, how things are going, having that time with family, friends, I think that's going to take away so much stress that it's going to have this net positive on your health rather than worrying about all these things. And, you know, even if you eat foods that necessarily aren't as healthy as you would have eaten otherwise on your diet, I still think that decrease in stress is probably going to outweigh that. So the benefits are going to outweigh any risk there from that standpoint. So that's kind of the way I look at things. I hope that's helpful, you know, to kind of give you maybe some things to think about when you're deciding what you want to do with it. Again, I love exercise, so I'm probably going to do it most of the time anyway, just because I don't feel right if I don't. But that's not how everybody is. You know, for other people, exercise is more of a chore. And then taking that time off when you're on vacation and just enjoying that, again, that's going to decrease so much stress, etc., that it's probably worth it, and it probably outweighs any benefits that you would have gotten from exercising that week. You know, I mean, you could always go do something easy, you know, just do some body weight stuff, you know, if you wanted to. So there's all kinds of ways this could work out. You could, you know, not work out at all. You could work out just as hard as you would normally, or anything in between. You know, you could do some real easy things, you know, just real quick, short workouts, you know, just a few minutes. I mean, the options are endless, you know, so you just have to figure out what works best for you, what you want to do, you know, and taking into account the physical part of it, psychological, mental aspects of it, and then kind of that emotional, relational with family and friends and things too. So, you know, just keep those things in mind. Then you can make the best decision, the one that fits best for you in that situation, and go from there. Um, so I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you enjoy some of the fat loss updates. Like I said, I'll include the way I'll cut the video, I'll probably have that picture already, and then show you some of the things that I see during my walks here at home, and some of the things I saw at the beach too. So it's kind of fun. But anyway, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.